And what does that mean? Jeremiah, where are you?
I'm in Western Australia.
So it's pretty late there too.
Yeah, well, it's not as late as New South Wales.
Right.
So it's only 10 p.m. here. It's kind of reasonable.
This is Jeremy, isn't this Jeremy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it says Jeremiah. That's why I'm like, who is this? But the voice sounds, I can't see your face, but I know your voice. Okay. Well, how about we get this going? And as more people arrive at our event and walk down the red carpet, I'm assuming they are all just a little bit delayed because of all of the paparazzi that are lining up the alley to the entrance and taking pictures and asking questions and who you are wearing and who is with you. It all takes time, you know, to actually get to this hall, which is where we are. Let's pretend. So happy New Year, everybody. I don't know if it still feels like a new year, but it's never too late to wish you all the very best in 2022. Wishing you a lot of creative pursuits and creative successes, and good health for sure. I think we should introduce ourselves really quickly to know where we are, even though we are this brand new family, like it or not. We got bound by this journey you all embarked on, of the first ever GEO Art competition. My name is Yana Gevorkyan. I'm the director of the Secretariat of the Group on Earth Observations. We're situated in Geneva, but our group is really a multilateral organization. It's really a coalition of the willing, governments, universities, scientific organizations, UN bodies, civil society. So all sorts of participants who share one vision to make sure that whatever decisions we take for the benefit of the society and the environment actually are based on information about the environment and the environmental processes, so that decisions are not made in this information vacuum. And we help by generating that environmental information from using not just satellites, but also instruments on the ground, in the sea, on some fish and other living species, anything that sort of follows the Earth processes, the Earth system processes. We collect that information, we promote the sharing of it, and then using it in various analysis and models to come up with something that can help anyone who needs to make decisions to make an informed decision. So that as our world leaders are trying to tackle, for example, food scarcity, and they want to increase food production, they can do that without actually harming the ecosystems and the biodiversity, or without harming the water quality. So, and we reached out to you to help us demonstrate the importance of being connected to the environment, whether it's just in your neighborhood, whether it's in your town or globally. So thank you for answering our call and for showing all the different ways in which Mother Nature means something to you, how you see her from where you are, how you feel her, and sharing all of that globally. We introduced your work in November, but we plan to continue, because you've given us the rights, the permission. We intend to continue to share your work. And I really look forward to using that as a key sort of way of communicating how and why people are not disconnected from the environment. So thank you very much. I am going to quickly share with you how we think we will run this hour that we're spending together. You know that your work has been looked at by three really stellar individuals who we called judges, and they're all here. And so we'll hear from them. And then I really would love for each of you to just interact by saying who you are, why you answered our call, how you heard about our call, and why you participated, and what you'd like to say about either that piece, what prompted you to create it, what's the story behind it, where you intend to go next in your art work, if it is what you do, or are you just an art enthusiast? Would really, really love to get to know you. This is what this is about. Imagine that we are, forget the Oscars. Imagine we are in one room and we're just having a glass of something in our hands and we're just chatting. That's the environment I would love for us to create. I'll be your master of ceremonies, and I'm pretty insistent on getting everyone to chit chat, as you can imagine. So I am going to stop my chit chat, and why don't I just invite our judges. And first of all, I have to say thank you to Diana. I know we wouldn't be here without each and every one of you, but Diana really, really was such an engine that made all of this run and work and come together, and she brought us here together today. So from the bottom of my heart, Diana, thank you for jumping in on this crazy spontaneous idea and then really turning this into this wonderful experience that we can finally celebrate today and hopefully keep growing this bond. To Diana. Okay, so why don't we start off with which of our judges wants to go first to kick us off and just perhaps say who you are and why you jumped in on this opportunity and what you would like to hear from our artists. And then we can, I'll think about the rounds in which we'll go.
Well, shall I start?
Please, Claudio.
It was such a nice surprise to have you coming to me, offering me to be the judge in this extraordinary event and supporting this wonderful initiative of the GEO organization. I thought it was very much a dream come true, to be part of something so useful and so interesting. I was born in Chile, who has recently elected the youngest president ever in our history, and probably one of the youngest ones around the world as well. He's only 35 years old. And he's younger than my daughters, which is extraordinary. And looking at those new developments in Portugal as well, I mean, how the hopes for a new, different world, a better world for all of us, are fed by institutions which have humanity at the heart, as GEO does. And the hope is that our politicians will be increasingly, not without a lack of pressure, from us, the people, and the environment, this wounded environment in which we live these days, are going to react. And I think we can. I look at all these young people who participated now, and that was one of the wonderful things about it, to know that we were going to be in an intergenerational affair, which reminds me very much of parties back when I was a child in Chile, which at least for what my wife, who's English, tells me were not the norm here, in which I suppose it's that Latin thing, and perhaps it belongs to many other cultures too, in which people of all ages and sizes and colors meet and have a fantastic, crazy time. I think that is more the world that we want, a world in which we'll recover the richness of what work is, the deep meaning of that work is the way we link to the environment. And if that is a happy resolution from each one of us individuals, the better it is for us all as a community. And the drawings I was looking that this lot did said that so loudly to me that it only sort of underlined the fact that I had joined something really fantastically purposeful and rich and humane and connecting. So thank you very much for that invitation, which grew up out of one piece of work that someone from GEO saw many years ago that I had published, and someone liked it, and they remember my name in this wonderful occasion. Thank you. And congratulations to everybody. Thank you, Diana, as well, and Jana, and everyone.
Thank you, Claudio. Indeed, humanity and, in a way, humanitarianism through this is a long-lasting effect we'd like to achieve. Nicole or Jeremy?
Sure, yeah. And I'd like to echo that that surprise at being included. I'm really thankful, as Claudio mentions, to be part of this group. I'm hoping that this does continue to move forward and that you'll continue to include me in the activities so that we can see how this grows and really flourishes. You know, I love the name of the group too, GEO, this group on Earth observation. And I think, Jana, as you mentioned, how we have satellites and technology and everything that's part of that, you know, observing clump of things that go on to provide us with all the information. But I think, you know, importantly too, is that we, you know, we are observers, should be observers. And I know, you know, I was blessed to fly in space. As astronauts, we consider ourselves Earth observers, you know, whether that's just for the, you know, the awe and wonder of experiencing what you will see out the window of your spaceship, or if it's really to be kind of chronicling what you're seeing out, the changes that are happening during your mission as you're, you know, witnessing that through the windows of your spaceship and across the time that, you know, that we as humans are flying in space. I think we take that very seriously. What I love is that I think both artists and astronauts have, you know, as well as like the group GEO itself, we have this, I don't know, I think need to look at things from different perspectives, right? To appreciate things around us in a new way, to communicate that, and then hopefully to inspire people to take action as a result of what they're experiencing through, you know, our artwork or what the images we've shared of Earth from space, and to feel that in themselves. And I think that's what I really enjoyed about all of the different kinds of art that were presented as part of this competition, all of the, as Claudio mentioned, the different age groups that came into it, people from all over the world participated. I think that's a really wonderful, we should be proud that that came together that way. But I think it makes us realize that it really does come down to the way we communicate, that we connect with each other that we understand we all, I'll just share those 3 simple lessons from life in space, that, oh my gosh, we live on a planet, all earthlings, only border that matters, that thin blue line of atmosphere. And what I've experienced in all of you, even though I haven't met you personally, is that I think already you understand that role as an earthling, that you understand through what I've experienced through your artwork, that you are a crewmate, not a passenger here on Spaceship Earth. And I think that's really, really important. And if through our art and our like investigation, exploration of Earth and space around us, we can share that with others and they take on that role. That future you mentioned, Claudio, where it will continue to get better, where it will be as beautiful here on Earth as it looks from space, I think we have that to look forward to. So I'm very thankful to be here. And congratulations to everyone.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And how cool is that, indeed, to feel like we are the crew on a spaceship Earth and we are all explorers. I couldn't agree more. It's just such a, we don't often think about it, right? As we go through life, but indeed, we are all explorers. And how exciting is that? Jeremy, fellow explorer, fellow Earthling.
Hello. Firstly, can I say that it was an immense privilege to be part of the experiential trip through space and time, where we were able to explore each and everyone's individual pieces of artwork. I've certainly had an incredibly privileged sort of life as a result of my artwork and my music, and where it's given me the chance to not just travel my country here in Australia, but take my country to the rest of the world as well. And through the playing of music and through the art exhibitions, I've been able to see some of the most incredible natural wonders of the world. And even to the point, right now I'm up in like a very remote region of the East Kimberley, which it's one of the most picturesque and incredibly beautiful parts of this country, and Australia is full of incredibly beautiful parts. I'm a Goko Yalanji man. I'm from Cape York. I'm from a really rich and beautiful part of northern Queensland, where we have 2 World Heritage listed places which come under my father's native title, which is the Daintree River. We have, and the Cape Tribulation, and then which stretches out to the Great Barrier Reef. And in our language we say Goga Yalan is like, it's our obligation to protect the earth, and in turn the earth protects us. And that's a cultural obligation that has been passed down to me through my grandfather and my grandmother. And it's an obligation of mine to share the knowledge that my late grandparents imparted with me, but not just to us as Aboriginal people, but to everyone around the world, about the beauty of the cultural connection that we as Aboriginal people have to our land and to our country. And in fact, it was my grandfather passed away several years ago now, but I was sitting on the end of his bed about 3 days before my grandfather passed away, and I said to him, "Old man, which in my language means, it says, old man, what is my responsibility or my obligation to you?" And my grandfather said, and in that simply means my obligation that he saw for me was to take any man or woman by the hand and walk them through our art, through our music, through our dance, through our country, and allow people to feel what we feel when we're walking through our country. And that's to give people this incredible connection of feeling, to understand that we are just part of this ecosystem, and we need to protect this environment for the future generations. And so it's an incredible privilege that I have as an artist to be able to celebrate my culture, but to be able to celebrate the landscape of Australia through artwork, but to be able to share these cultural stories with people here in Australia, but internationally as well. And so it was a great privilege to be asked to be a judge on on this incredibly special panel and this inaugural panel, and I certainly look forward to our next expedition.
Thank you. And I think, you know, within GEO, thanks in large part to efforts of Diana and others, we've begun to work more closely with the various indigenous communities around the world. I think that is one of the gifts actually to ourselves, is getting closer and getting a better understanding of that perspective of exactly the connection that we need to cultivate, those of us who haven't, by way of our own cultures, to cultivate to our environment, our ecosystem, how that really connects to culture and to personal experiences. It's always eye-opening for me when I hear the stories from the traditional and indigenous communities, and I feel like it really takes a perspective shift. And I think we'll all do right by ourselves if we develop that, our own sort of perspective of that connectedness and that connectivity. So thank you, judges. You've set this up nicely for us to transition into actually recognizing and hearing from our artists. And I see so many young ones here. And look, if you are with your parents, Emilia and Yunchin and Mithuki, you know, have them come into the shot as well, because clearly they have been such enormous supporters of you. So why don't we start with the painting category? And we have several of the winners here on the line, with the first one being also our one of our younger ones, and that's Yunchin Yu. And Rik from our team, Rik Byens, he is going to show the piece of every one of our artists. And this is Yunchin's piece, and she called it Earth Protectors. And Yunchin is 8 years old, and she is in China. And I wonder if Yunchin might tell us something about herself and about this piece, and what the protectors are protecting the earth from, and who the protectors are, and how this story ends, because there's so much cool action going on here. Hi, Yunchin.
Thank you. My name is Yu Yunchen, age 8. I am a pupil of Fuzhou Chayuanshan Central Primary School. I am quite glad when I know that I am one of the winners. Also, we are children. We also want to protect our beautiful Mother Earth. We need to tell people around us that we do need to protect her. This is my painting for the GEO Art competition. In this painting, Elias are talking about the earth, seeing how good it used to be. Elias are very sorry for what people have done on the earth. They throw the sampling into the nutrient solution, guide the bottle of nutrient solution to the earth, and the earth becomes lush again. But no people there. Nobody knows where are people. This shall not happen. I believe that Mother Earth's protection begins with the heart and begins with the action. Let us try our best to protect our beautiful Mother Earth from today.
That's an incredible charge. That is an incredible call to action, Yunchin. Thank you so much. And Nicole, I feel like her representation of the Earth from space was spot on, probably just the way it
Wonderful.
looks from the window, right?
Oh, just beautiful. That all of those glowing kind of iridescent colors on Earth. Thank you, Yunshin, for sharing that with us all.
Truly wonderful, Yunshin. I love your I love the colors that you chose for your piece. It definitely speaks urgency, but it's also positive. It's very hands-on, if you will. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful piece. Thank you so much. The next winner in this category of painting that is joined us today is Tara Ildner, and she is in the United States. And Tara, I would invite you to introduce yourself as we are putting up your piece on the screen, and if you can tell us about this spot and what it means and why you chose this and why you chose us as a place through which to show this.
Yes, thank you, Yana. So my name is Tara Illner. I'm a graduate student at the University of Virginia. So just a quick background about me. I grew up all over. I was born in Houston, Texas, and raised in Southern California, and went to school in India and England and New York, and returned to Dallas, Texas for university, and then the University of Virginia, and have lived in Silicon Valley and sometimes South Africa. I say that because living in a lot of places, I swear every single place is just so breathtakingly beautiful, and Virginia is especially so. It's just so beautiful in every season. It's just, you can't take your eyes off of it. And so living here in Virginia has inspired me to paint, which I never painted before. And it just makes me want to paint. And this is a creek behind my house. So I was really surprised and pleasantly surprised to see this art competition announcement through GEO. And it was really moving. The idea, there's this push here at the university as well to try and encourage more students from broad backgrounds and broad disciplines to engage in science in new ways. And one of the ways is to bring music and art and other ways to sort of describe their feeling and their sentiment of the depth of science and Earth. And honestly, I haven't really engaged much in that before, not in a public way. It's always just been like private paintings and painting with my children. And we have this like gallery in our garage of painting. But this one was quite recent when I saw the call for paintings or for artwork. And it was funny, it was like 2 a.m. and I had been writing for about 13 hours on science policy. And I saw this call and I just thought, this is so refreshing and so needed. And I just didn't think anything of it. I just wanted to participate. I really didn't think I would hear back from you guys, but I just sent it in, with my thoughts at that moment at 2 o'clock in the morning, this recent painting. And yeah, so I'm really grateful to have heard from you. This painting is of an area behind my house called the Rivanna Trail. If anybody's studied American history or Civil War history, the Rivanna Trail comes up. And again, as having lived in a lot of places, it's just hard not to want to paint Virginia. As my kids say, there's just no bad angle. Viewing Virginia from every angle looks like a postcard. And since fall and autumn is my favorite season, that's really the time that I like to go and sit by the creek and there behind my house and just close my eyes and listen. And the birds' calls are echoing from the high treetops and the water gurgling around, and the pulse of the earth just feels so clear in that moment of this sort of cradle of life with the rhythm of soil and insects and vegetation all in a delicate balance. And the trees, I like to call them the lungs of our planet. As an atmospheric chemist, they're the lungs of our planet. To watch them, in satellite retrievals, to actually watch the change in CO2 from around the hemispheres at the different seasons. They really are like the lungs, and there's a pulse to it. So it's just so moving to be there and on a cool October afternoon, and I think it'll inspire anybody to want to paint it. So anyway, thank you for recognizing my painting, and I'm really glad to be here, and I think this is a great idea.
Thank you very much, Tara. I appreciate it. And you know, we needed you just like you apparently needed us. So really appreciate that you just went with the instinct and replied to us. It was really great to have you. Does the creek ever get flooded in the last few years? Does that happen or not really?
You know, it's quite far down a hill. So if it does, I'm usually not out when it's pouring rain. So if it does, it's probably quick and temporary and not high enough to affect any of the houses in the neighborhood. But it is, I'm sure it's very stunning. It does seem to show signs though, along the banks of having a rise and a recession. So I'm sure it does.
Great. Thanks very much, Tara. So we come to somebody now who may disagree with you about Virginia being the most breathtaking place, because some might say that Switzerland is pretty breathtaking. And so here is Emilia Novikova. Привет, Emilia. Who might actually tell you that she thinks otherwise about her place. Emilia, why don't we show your piece? See, she says привет. Emilia is, she lives in Switzerland and she's 7 years old. Ты нам расскажешь про твою картинку, Эмилия? You'll tell us about the picture?
С удовольствием.
Давай.
Hi, I am Emilia. I am student, Illner. I live in Switzerland. Nice to see you. I am very happy to win GEO Art competition. I love reading books on creative work, painting and modeling. I generate ideas to make less pollution, clean up waste, and protect nature. I produced a model of our planet.
Oh, wow. Why, my goodness. Okay, where in Switzerland do you live and can I come get it? Wait, is it for us? Is it for us?
Geneva.
Oh, you're in Geneva. Oh, you should come and be our guest. That was beautiful.
Climate warming of our planet is a very big danger for people, plants, and animals. Snow leopard home, snow on glaciers is melting. And these animals need to migrate to the jungle. We need to protect of our planet from destruction. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you really are a multi-talented artist. You don't just paint, but you also sculpt. Yeah?
Yes.
That's a tiger because this is the year of
My home.
Oh, wow. Let me see. Oh, that's also a tiger on your arm. Oh, wow. And a lion. Oh, that's a safari scene.
Safari.
Oh, brilliant.
Claudio, I think you need to work with her.
Seriously,
Yes.
I think this will be our resident artist. Claudio, I think you have one rising right there who might actually be the next illustrator.
Well, there they are, both girls. You and Chen as well. I think there's an art school coming here.
Yes. Thank you, Emilia. And do you think you will be doing art going forward as you grow up?
Yes.
Definitely. I think you should. Okay, well, with thanks to Emilia, we are going to move to our winners in the video and music category. How exciting. When we included music, actually, when we did not exclude music and video, we weren't quite sure what we were going to get, if anything. And so we were so thrilled to receive several entries, actually. And the first one we will see today is from Philippe Samartis from Australia, who is with us at now 1:30 a.m. And this is called Atmospheres and Disturbances. And I really hope after we listen, Philippe, you will tell us exactly what is generating the sounds. I don't know if we'll be able to hear well, but let's try it. Rick, could we try it?
Okay, give me a second then. Philippe, go ahead with your introduction.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. Hello from Melbourne. I'm a sound artist, researcher, and academic associated with the School of Art at RMIT University. And my practice is really focused on remote regions and their communities. I've been working in Antarctica for over the last 10 years or so, observing the ice continent through sound recording and creating a sound map of the Australian Antarctic territory that includes 4 research stations and 2 research vessels. And in fact, I should be in Antarctica right now, except for the Omicron virus has really impacted Antarctic operations this season. So only essential personnel can go down this year, but I'm scheduled to travel about this time next year, hopefully. So my work, Atmospheres and Disturbances, is an extrapolation or extension of the work I've been doing in Antarctica. Rather than a horizontal ice scape, I decided to tackle a vertical environment in the Bernese Alps. And the basic premise of the work was to spend a month at the high altitude research station at Jungfraujoch to record the scientific instruments used to measure greenhouse gas emissions as well as other pollutants in the atmosphere as one form of the sonic study that I was doing, but also the impact of climate change on the natural ecology around the research station, most notably the Great Altesh Glacier and the way it's contracting and being transformed by variable weather. So the composition is pure field recording. It's untreated or unprocessed. So it's raw recordings that I then compose into multi-channel sound installations, which are presented in usually museums and galleries, but also broadcast on radio. And I also produce CDs and LPs of this type of material as well. So that's a bit of a nutshell, a summary of the work that I'm doing currently. So, and I'm obviously thrilled to be included in such a wonderful endeavour. And for your information, I learnt about the competition through the Mountain Research Initiative newsletter, and I thought it was a delightful opportunity to contribute without, again, having any expectations, as some of my colleagues have mentioned as well. It's just the participation in something like this is really the reward, I think. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Philippe. So this is really the part of Mother Earth, I hear you. So how about we try and hear her? Do you think we might be able to hear her now?
I switched it on and I opened my mic, but I don't know whether you hear it.
Nope.
It's fine. It's on the SoundCloud link there. I've made that public.
Let me try something else.
hearing it, what does that sound to you like?
Me or?
No, not to you.
It's-
You know exactly what it sounds like. But see, I was
Yes.
thinking I could take it for a waterfall sound, you know, if I was somewhere without seeing it. Emilia, what does it sound to you like? If you heard that sound, what would you think it is if you were out in the nature?
Yes, it's more.
Sea? Yeah.
I think we call it more.
More, sea. It would be like the sound of the sea, right? That's right.
You're not far removed. It's the sound of millions of ice granules blowing across the glacier, activated by the bis and fawn winds that converge on the saddle. So it's a beautiful dance of ice around the microphones. In fact, the shot of the microphones is of what we're hearing, in fact, with the ice blowing across the front of them.
Okay. Now I just feel cold.
It's a bit abstract. It's a bit abstract, but with
That's
the
wonderful.
Zoom. But anyhow, thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, having just been in Antarctica, it's a familiar sound too. It's there is kind of a rumble to it. Philip, thank you very much for I don't know, just sharing nature around us in a new way, like opening up a new way to listen to it that we might not have appreciated before. Yeah, really
Thanks
incredible.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippe. We move on to Grayson's and Dougal's work. It's a duo from Australia. Dougal wasn't able to join us, but Grayson Cook is here. No, not, yes, it's exactly in Australia. And so the work was Himawari. And as we're loading it, do you wish to narrate the story of this piece?
Oh, sure. We're watching slightly slowly the transport of water vapor around the planet. Himawari is an incredible satellite. It's 35,000 kilometers away from the Earth. And it sees 42% of the Earth's surface, and it scans so many different, including thermal infrared reflected signatures that you can use to track basically the water cycle around the planet. And so that's what we're seeing. It's an incredible piece of technology and crazy data to be able to work with. When I discovered that I had access to Himawari, then I figured out how to process the weird data files that I was getting from the supercomputer. I'm not a geoscientist nor a meteorologist, I should note. I'm an artist who works with satellite data, so figuring this stuff out, I guess, is always the challenge. But once I'd kind of cracked that code, I was just astounded that I was going to be able to create images like this of the Earth, images of this watery orb floating in space where we cannot see the land. We can only see the water and the evidence of the transport of water around the planet. So, and I guess doing this project, I work with all sorts of satellite data. I work with Geoscience Australia, who are a governmental body here in Australia. They were the ones who told me about the art competition. I believe they're partners of GEO. You know, I'm in awe of the work that, you know, geoscientific and meteorological bodies do with satellite data. This phenomenal, enormous infrastructure, orbital infrastructure that tells us so much about the planet and gives us so many new ways of looking at it and feeling it and understanding it all at the same time. You know, I guess I'm just continually inspired and driven by that process as I discover new facets of what the satellites can do I don't know, new spectra that they kind of analyze about the Earth, and then ways that I could use that stuff creatively and pipe that into a new context. I don't know. For me, it's just a huge privilege to be able to work with this stuff. This function of global multi-billion-dollar initiatives that can go in all sorts of directions. This material the material doesn't care where it goes and what you do with it. Mainly it's used by geoscientists and by indigenous groups and what have you. But I think there are a whole cluster of artists also working with this stuff, and that strikes me as the real potential, when we can get people across the disciplines working with this material towards shared aims, as this competition demonstrates. Then we're really living, then we're really making use of our infrastructure and our investment. So look, I'm just really honored to be ported into this group and this wonderful picture of the world. Thank you.
How amazing, how well put. Can we have that on record as a cite you? That was really quite well, actually. Well, really brilliantly put. And that work is awe-inspiring, honestly.
Thank you.
You're obviously a very good sound mixer too, because I love the track that you put to accompany that image.
Yes, that's the work of Dougal McKinnon, my collaborator. Look, a genius composer and sound artist.
Beautiful, beautiful work. Thank you so much, really. Well, next we have here Raquel Santiago. She's from the United States, and she danced for her art entry. And I wonder if, Rick, we can show, and Raquel, you're connected by phone with us, right?
No, through my computer.
Oh, there you are. I'm sorry, there you are. Yes, the Raquel, the dancer. Do tell us about, can you narrate the story behind this?
Okay. This is a dance that I did in a dry lake in Sacramento, in California, during the extreme drought that affected California for almost 10 years. And that was part of this footage was part of a movie that my friends, Canadians, Velcro Ripper and Nova Amy were doing in California for a movie called Metamorphosis. And this footage didn't make it to the final cut. And I decided to use it as part of my new career as a climate change dance activist. And for me, this dance on this dry lake is, for me, it's like the earth spinning, like I'm spinning, and it's about how the earth is going to look in the future. It's going to be dry because of the deforestation, because of the fires, the forest fires, and it's kind of like an image of how Earth could end if we don't take actions right now. And I'm not from the United States.
There is nothing dry about this.
I'm from Spain. I'm from Barcelona.
Oh, you're
but I live in California.
I see. Well, thank you. And like I was saying, there's nothing dry about this tear on my eye. I have to say, thank you so much for showing that beautiful. I think it's, I don't know why that didn't make it into the final cut, but we're so fortunate that you shared it with us.
Thank you.
It's really such a juxtaposition of sort of the emotion that that dance creates, which is very alive, and then that crust, that cracked ground underneath your feet. And it makes you want to see it come back to life again and sprout. So I was in fact wondering, like, if it were an actual movie made, maybe by towards the end of your dance there would be a shot of a small sprout coming through, because it, you know, being people, the eternal optimists, we all want that happy end, you know, and one sprout coming out from those cracks. But thank you so much. It was beautiful. Beautiful.
You're welcome.
So we can move to our next category, and that is mixed media category. We have our participant from Peru unfortunately couldn't join, Malu Cabellos. He's not attending because he's traveling in the Amazon rainforest. Hopefully that will provide for more inspiration for new mixed media art to come. And who knows, perhaps we'll be among those with whom you'll share the work. But Minashi Pradeep is here with us, 16 years old in India, with a piece entitled Mother Earth. And maybe you can even show it. Minashi, where are you? Not on the line. Nope.
Lost.
Not at the moment, at least. But this is really, really wonderful piece as well. In fact, perhaps some of you did receive our holiday greeting cards. Actually, did you all receive our holiday greeting card end of December? And for this year's card, we featured this piece in our GEO holiday greeting card, which was really quite nice to be able to do that. So who we have with us is, no, Lily is also not here. So then we'll move to the illustration category winners. And Ria, are you here? Yes, Ria is definitely here. Ria with us by phone. She's from the United States, and Ria's piece is Seeing, Listening, and Healing the Earth. Ria, are you connected to us by audio, okay?
Yes, I am.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Ria. And a little bit about my piece. I went to the mythology. I had a lot of different ways to go, but I picked the mythology and sort of wrapped it all up into space. It was really interesting to do some research for this illustration. Most of the graphic art that features Mother Earth, most of them are utilizing the green face. And I decided, well, that doesn't really hear the earth or listen to the earth or even heal it. So I managed to do a compilation of all multicultures. I think that's very important. The dresses I chose were white, and why I did that is because of the history behind fiber. The first cloth was either white or off-white. So I did a little bit of historical symbolism that most people wouldn't quite get. The Mother Earth, the normal graphic representation, they don't have wings. Mother Earth was specifically down to earth. And I really wanted to go from the sky perspective. So I gave them wings. Mother Earth has finally been given wings. And each wings are different leaves to represent the different regions of the world. And since I've lived all over the US, it was kind of a multicultural, and I've worked with other people in other countries. So I just kind of like put all that together into myth for science and just compiled it.
You know, we get so much more from this when we hear you tell that story like this. It's like I'm seeing this in you. It's fantastic. Ria.
Well, thank you.
Oh, wow. It must be the wings, right, that keep our planet Earth afloat, right, Nicole? I mean, you saw those wings probably, right?
I think we imagine them, yes.
Truly wonderful.
Well, I was actually given a link through a relative, and there's sort of a fan with Coles.
Okay. Good. I'm glad all the connections work appropriately.
That's the one that's out there. That's the one that's out there.
Super. Ria, thank you. Thanks for participating. We'd love to have your piece in this collection. Wieland Kunzo.
It is a privilege. Thank you.
We're going now to Germany. Wieland, as
yes, hello.
On your piece. Do tell.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so welcome to the north of Germany. What I sent in is a map, and it's a map of a voyage I've been taking quite a number of times. The red dot at the bottom, which you see, is the place where I live, where I am right now. And at the top, you have the sea. The background is that I'm part of a group of people who maintain an old traditional sailing ship. I don't know, Rick, if you can show it, because I sent this picture earlier. And this ship once belonged to the Kelly family, actually, and now it's being run by this group of volunteers. And as we travel down this route from inside the harbor down to the sea, we pass a lot of things which sometimes make me think about the environment and the earth. For example, we pass a place which is now derelict, where more than 100 big deep sea fishing boats were operating until not too long ago, an activity which has now stopped due to overfishing also. There is also a shipyard where the currently biggest cruise ship in the world is under construction. It's 75% complete. And this shipyard went bankrupt just 2 weeks ago, mainly due to COVID, because not many cruise ships are running right now. So there are all these aspects. There are positive ones as well. On the right, where the harbor is a construction site of big wind turbines, which are placed out to sea to generate electricity there. And Rostock is getting ready to be one of the centers for energy production, for methane production, which is a new form of energy storage. So you have both of these things. You have, let's say, the old and the new. You have dashed hopes and you have new hopes. And it gave me the idea to turn this map into a mind map. And if you zoom in, you would need to zoom in, but I changed all the words. So as you travel through this map, okay, here we come a bit closer. As you travel through this map, you have different parts which you see. It starts by observation, by analysis, conclusions, but then there is also the cause of. There is suspicion. There is the way to give up and to not see the way. To see things in the way they are, apathy, routine, beaten past desk work. But if you go the right way, it leads to rehabilitation, regeneration, restoration, and finally towards innovation, transformation, and renewal. This way on the map, you really go out. And I hope, and I'm actually quite confident that as an Earth, we can go this way, that we will be able to find the right path and to move out to a better future.
Thank you so much. This I loved to study this one. I spent quite a bit of time zooming in and really looking at all of the pathways and all the stops all the traps to avoid on this journey. And I was really also thrilled to share it on LinkedIn once, and it really piqued a lot of people's interest. Loved the way you named the spots and the various directions, kind of a moral compass, if you will, as well.
Thank you.
Really wonderful, creative approach. I love it. Thank you very much. The next on our list is Mithuki Nathma. She's with us from Sri Lanka, and she's 11 years old. And the piece that she submitted is, how beautiful is that? Do we get to hear from the artist about this piece? Mithuki.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about yourself and your piece.
Sure. So I'm Mithuki Nathma and I'm from Sri Lanka. So I'm really happy to draw this art so I can tell how I feel about this earth. And usually we are living on the earth. Waterfalls, animals, plants and more are also related to the environment. We make buildings for our need, but we don't think about the environment. We only think about ourselves. We make different harms to the environment and animals either. It may collect together and make air pollution, water pollution, and more. But also, we make them again, and they again affect us. These all are done by human activities. To the earth, we do the activities that doesn't harm to the earth, and then we will have a better and a beautiful earth, our mother earth. It's our duty to protect it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mithuki. You are so right. It is our responsibility. Just like Jeremy's father told him, this is our responsibility to do our part. What a beautiful piece you've chosen for this competition. I think I must invite Diana now to take over the Master of Ceremony role, if that's okay. So I can jump in on another task, but I shall be back for the end of the party, if that's all right with everybody. Diana, are you okay to take over?
Sure, thank you, Jana, and thank you everyone for staying online. I know we are running a bit late, but we are also excited to hear about your work. And the next one is Christian Klepp from Germany. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us, but he has a series of photographs called Catching Stardust, and he has a message that he wanted us to share with you. And this is his message. It's such an honor being awarded. Thank you so very much to the jury for selecting me. I appreciate that so much, especially because I have a 20-year background in climate research, working in the field of remote sensing of the global water cycle and precipitation. In my freelance life, I combine geoscience with my passionate landscape photography that I do for 26 years now. The beauty and well-being of our home planet is nearest and dearest to my heart and defines me and my way of life. Raising awareness for the Earth system and to help protect our planet through touching people's heart with how beautiful Earth is the goal of my project, where geoscience meets art. We should love our planet because Earth is the mother we share. So I think his photographs are just amazing. It's a shame that he couldn't join us. Our next artist is Arno from France. Arno, are you still with us?
Thank you, Dana. Can you hear me?
Sure. So
sure.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So I have some slides to share with you. I hope so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So very, very great to be there with you, and thank you very much for this award. This is the first to me. So very quickly, I'm come from the remote sensing domain. Let's say I'm a geoscientist. And but I have developed a kind of intuition that satellite images have an enormous emotional power as well on the fringe of their useful information content. I mean, I deal with a lot with information content in the satellite images, but we have something else. I feel that. So since April 2020, I've started to exercise my creativity on that and to reveal this potential, let's say, and produce these images. So my artwork is based mainly on Sentinel-2 images, and I use my own treatment chain to produce clean images, you know, raw clean images without any clouds, any shadows, and so on. So my point of view on that is that I would like to go toward an emotional interpretation, you know. So I keep all the spatial morpho structures in the images. All that is of natural origin. And I work mainly on the colorimetry, luminosity, based on purely aesthetic and emotional criteria. And so I would like to provide, let's say, a kind of enhanced perception of the Earth, you know, that could triggers environmental awareness and empathy towards the nature, you know, just to have this kind of enhanced structures, enhanced areas, you know, all these colors, all this diversity, all that is real, in fact. When I produce an image and have a blue area, perhaps it's not blue, but if we have a blue and a red one, it means that at the origin, we had two kind of colors, you know, so two kind of biomass, or I don't know. So we can touch a diversity of Earth from this artwork. I hope so, I guess. And so just to provide you how I work, let's say. So first step, so I find an interesting area, let's say. So and there is so much interesting areas on the planet. So typically I can use Google Map, you know, and you know, travel all around the African continent, for example. So I have something. So this work is done as well from Sentinel-2 hub from ESA, Sentinel-2 playground, and so I catch an image. So where, and then I have to catch the good moment, you know. So because all that is in evolution, constant evolution. So and for some kind of areas, we have seasonal effects. So for some moment, you have, let's say, the forest, which are contrasted compared to the neighborhood. I don't know. So all that is living, let's say. So I have to catch the good date and the spatial extension for the image. So. And then I go to the pre-process, let's say. So all that is quite technical, and I use a lot the experience from the past, let's say, from my geoscientist, you know, skill, let's say. So all the cloud shadow are gut feel, sorry. I can do some temporal synthesis if needed, and select the let's say the good or the interesting spectral bands. Because as you know, we have, for Sentinel-2, we have something like 12 bands. So to produce an image, I have to choose 3 bands to code the red, green, and blue, you know. So I have to choose, okay, I have 12 bands, and it's kind of mixture, you know. So I do that, and I optimize the contrast. And then I have my raw image, let's say, so very contrasted, very good quality. I have the image from which I'm going to work. I'm going to do a kind of artwork from. So I use photo editing software for that, for the colorimetry, luminosity. So with local corrections, all that is in the air. I mean, nothing scientist from this standpoint. I mean, surely not. Only, let's say, a kind of yes, creation from that. And the last step, and but not the least, I mean, the optimization of the print rendering is a kind of nightmare when you do artwork, because you work on your computer, you have a very good color, you know, but sometimes it's not the right color which are printed. So I have to optimize all that. So to have artwork, I mean, I have one on my. I don't know if you can see that because I have the background, but I have an example at home. So I have physical support now. So I print these images on a aluminium D-bond support, and it's good for the decoration market. But it's good as well, and it's not only for merchandising. I mean, I'm very concerned by the environmental from environmental aspects, you know. So I can monitor all these areas in time. I mean, when I catch an image, I can catch the image the year after, and so on. So I would like to work on that in the future. To produce some kind of story, you know. So yeah, and here you have an example. So you have Google Map, you know. So this is the same area, you know. So you have Google Map, and you have an artwork I did over this area, not from this image, you know, from another way, but this is the same area. And as you can see here, it's typically what we have in the remote sensing. Let's say community, you know, with real colors. And here you have a kind of interpretation of these areas. And so, yeah, just to provide you some other examples. And here you have the Bahamas, here the Volga Delta, here an area in Himalaya, Bangladesh Delta here Lena Delta, Bora Bora, and so with an interpretation, color interpretation, and some other areas, you know. So I think that's it. To me, I don't know if you want to, if you have any question or.
Thank you so much, Arno, for sharing not only your work, but also the process of how you achieve these fantastic images. And I really think you are a bridge between science and society, and your work is really enhancing environmental awareness. And we definitely need more empathy. And I think that's exactly what comes out from these images. So thank you very much. And I really look forward to seeing more of your artwork.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Arno. So now we go to our last but not least photographer, Mohammed Rakibul Hassan. From Bangladesh. Mohammed, are you online? I really hope you're online, Mohammed, because you have your work is just really incredible. Well, I wanted to thank everyone on behalf of the GEO Secretariat for participating in this new and exciting collaboration between art and science. I really feel that this type of collaborations are necessary to help us to better understand and apply all the Earth observation data that we now have available. And you have all created new and creative approaches to make sense of all this data, and also inspire the next generation of artists and scientists to protect and monitor our Mother Earth. And now I would like to hand over the floor to our judges, if they would like to close the ceremony. I know Nicole has to leave soon, so maybe Nicole, if you'd like to share your thoughts.
Well, I want to say thank you again, first for all of you and the wonderful work that you've brought together here. I think it's interesting to see how the diversity of what comes from, from just different people thinking different ways about things and presenting, the life and awe and wonder around us, to share is, I don't know, very special. And I think it comes down to, again, being able to make a connection with people, them able to find something either in the sounds or the sights or the feel of what you've shared. And it's, again, why I love the name of the art competition too. I think it is about a sensory thing with humans, and we need to take advantage of that as much as possible to really, to bring the awe and wonder that surrounds us every day to life, so that we appreciate it and we want to take action in a way that that is meaningful for all of us for the future. So thanks again, and I look forward to following along. I'm not a stalker, but I am looking forward to following along with all of you through the social media avenues that are available. And if I can do anything to share the work that you're doing, please let us know. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Claudio or Jeremy?
Just to say that I would really want to encourage all those artists to continue doing their work. Wonderful stuff. And it's so inspiring to hear that these people, especially these young ones, I'm really in love with the way Emilia and Yun-Chen and all those very young ones who so enthusiastically did their wonderful, so free and open pieces of work. They give us all hope for the future. Thank you. And thank you for having invited me to participate. Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Claudio. I don't know if Jeremy is still online. Jeremy, are you there?
Oh, yeah.
I think he signed off. He sent a
Okay.
note saying, thank you. He signed off.
Well, I will be following up with all of you, because we're going to create an online visual exhibition with all your artwork which will be online till the end of the year. So you will have to send me your artwork in a specific dimension. So I'll be in touch after this call with further information on that. And do you have any questions as well before we close off? No comments or
Yeah, hello. I want to say thank you very much for organizing this. And for me, at least, it was a chance and an encouragement to do something like this. I'm not usually an artist. I'm a scientist and a sailor. And here suddenly I found myself doing something in this direction. So wonderful. So please continue your work, and mainly your main mission in GEO, which is supporting the Earth observation and GIS communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inspiring us to be more creative as well with our work. Yes, Tara?
I was just going to echo what Whelan said, that thank you for including us and for organizing this, such a wonderful idea, and bring so many people together. And I agree, it really supports GEO's very noble and honorable ambition and goal to get more coverage of our beautiful Earth. And Arnold just did a wonderful job of basically exemplifying what satellite imagery can bring. So thank you for all that. And it was just so wonderful to see everybody's work.
Thank you. And maybe if we all put the camera on, I will take a screenshot. I was about to say selfie, but Raquel, Rick.
Hi. Sorry.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us, and I will be in touch with all of you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Wonderful
everyone.
work.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
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 Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, kids.
Bye.
Bye bye, Sheshe.
Bye.
Bye.